Elon Musk and Ray Kurzweil both have predictions of when AI is going to be smarter than all human beings in the world. A few years before that, or a little bit before that, because that's how innovation works, AI is going to get smarter than an individual person. If that's the case, wouldn't you want to have this being, this individual, as your best friend, as your business partner, as someone that you can always speak to and work with? This is like the main premise behind AI. There are so many things to be excited about and quite a lot of things to be a little bit nervous about. But if we're looking at this future, what can we expect, or what is interesting about it? Now, like every brainstream, I don't have a clear goal or ending that I want to get to today. I just have things that I would like to share or working on or thinking about. Yesterday, I started talking about, or continued with, as I should say, because a lot of these brainstreams tie in together. You can join any day and listen to anyone you want because every day is different. But you will also, if you listen to a lot of them, you will find a pattern. Because lots of these thoughts are intertwined. Now, like any brainstream, a lot of this is me just thinking things through. So there's no script or nothing that I'm working on. It's just thoughts that are moving between. So you might find that we kind of explore lots of different topics. And the idea of the interface, of the way that humans interact with computers, is not only something that I'm a little bit interested in, it's something that I've been working on. It's the niche of this industry niche that I have been building towards and thinking about and working on for over a decade now. So probably doesn't come as a surprise that this is something that constantly excites me. The future is, the way that I see the future of the interface is built on quite a few different concepts and ideas. One is Layer OS, many brainstreams about that and many more to come. Another one is conversational UI or conversational AI, which I go into, again, in lots of brainstreams. I was working on a hardware product called Whisper years ago, spoken about that a lot. I kind of termed this concept a little bit like show and tell yesterday. If you haven't seen that brainstream, go check it out yesterday. But I want to build on this, and I want to just discuss it because there's so many different competing parts of this interface. And one part of it that I'm very excited about, personally as a creative, I want to get into many examples over these brainstreams. 10 minutes is not enough time. Sometimes I push it to 15. Almost want to just keep going, keep talking, but that's kind of what the regular episodes for Reality One are. If you don't know the distinction, brainstreams have little BS in front of them in square brackets, and the rest of them have just episode numbers. I've just released episode 18. That was a conversation with Schiffbacher about education and in the classroom, augmented reality, and what the future of the classroom would look like with it. Brainstreams are less focused, more about just every topic that I find interesting, working on conversations, things like that. Getting back to this, the interface is quite interesting because it's not just changing screens. It's also a complete new way of how you work in a space. What excites me is the future is going to be about abundance. Side note, I'm kind of bringing in a lot of Jewish things lately, but I do believe actually that science and technology is fulfilling the prophecies. But what they're bringing in, this world of abundance, this new way of working, when you picture yourself working today, or when you look at a lot of other people, if you think about it, it's people that are like, I'm talking about myself included. If you were to kind of like take a camera or like as a third person look at it, people are silently looking at these screens. They're interacting with it in a certain way, usually keyboard, mouse, or their fingers. That's the primary methods that someone is interacting with their computer today. But it is silent. Now, the future of the world is, the future of work, the future of interfaces is, you will be working with an intelligence, I don't even want to necessarily say being, but a consciousness and intelligence that will have all of not just humanity's information and knowledge, but an intelligence of human beings, surpassing human beings, that will help you get work done. As a creative, it's incredibly exciting to me because what I like to do is, as I think through things in many settings, it doesn't just happen when I'm sitting in front of a computer or when I've pulled my phone out. Ironically enough, and not really so ironic because this probably happens, you probably can relate to this. A lot of times when I pull out my smartphone is when I become less inspiration comes, because that is when you get sucked into this world of consuming rather than creating. But when I'm walking down the street, or for me personally, when I'm in a vehicle moving fast, whether it's a car, a train, a plane, that's when I'm most creative. And that's where it's like, this is where I want to have access to the tools that help me to be creative. And unfortunately, a lot of those areas is exactly when you don't want to use your tools. As a creative, I think the worst place to put it, to put my computers or my devices that help me be creative, is when I'm sitting down at a table, quietly or silently staring at this screen, interacting with it. And maybe it's part of that is why it's easier for me to find myself in the consumption mode rather than the creative mode. As I say a lot, computers, our devices, should work for us. Let's call it master slave. The human should not be a slave towards the computer. The computer should be serving the human. And unfortunately, we find out where is the computer most comfortable. Now, in this setup, right now, I'm sitting at a desk. Why am I sitting at a desk? Because that's the most comfortable place that I can be that still accommodates the computer. So it's next to charging and it's laying down flat. Really, where would I want to be? Where am I most creative? Maybe lying in a hammock, on the side of a mountain, by a beautiful lake, with a gorgeous view in front of me. I mean, right now I have a beautiful view in Jerusalem in front of me, but most people when they're working do not have that. And also my view is static. I like to be moving. That's how I'm creative. The way that we work does not help with creativity. Now, I know you're going to ask, okay, what about all the other people? Not everybody's creative. People are getting things, people are working on things. But we're going to have to start off somewhere, and somewhere is being creative. Now, that's this example. Interfaces, applications are going to change. We are moving away from, one of the biggest barriers of applications is learning that application. But if you speak to any master, once they've mastered that application, the application or the features or the interface kind of melts away, and it's just a tool that helps them do what they need to get done. And this is one of the big powers that AI is giving us. It is going to melt away that application, that form that says, hey, do you want to create something? We're going to guide you in how to create this. Now, this was important and very helpful after command line interfaces, something I talk about quite often. Command line, let's say you could do anything, right? You could really type whatever you want. There's going to be, a lot of the time it's going to be, if you don't know what you're doing, you're going to fall into an error. Now, the graphical user interface said, hey, there's a bunch of features, there's things that we can work with, so let's give you that sandbox, let's show you what to do. It helps with discoverability, but it also sandboxes you in. It kind of reduces where you could work. LLMs, generative AI, this world that we're moving in is giving us back this power where we're going to be able to kind of start with a goal and iterate from there. Instead of kind of building something up, the analogy, I don't know, just came to my mind. It's like we're moving to where we're going to have a lump of clay and we're given so unlimited tools and we're going to craft of how we're going to get there. Whereas interfaces nowadays is like, here's a bunch of building blocks like Lego pieces, and this is what you can construct. You have to like read instructions and figure out how to do that. We'll help you construct things, but there's huge constraints. Now I'm coming up to the 10 o'clock mark, the 10-minute mark. There is so many more directions in this that I want to go into, but I do like to keep it, I want to keep it to this context. So just to kind of summarize it, we're moving into a world where we have the biggest intelligence helping us create things, and that is about to change everything. I'm going to continue in the next brain stream. I'll see you guys in the future.